So now we're going to talk about this Ragnarok, the end of everything, because I don't really believe that grandmother and grandfather told you kids everything. I think that they save Ragnarok, this information I'm about to teach you, till now. They wouldn't let you kids know this information. Otherwise, it could mess things up in their grand scheme of things. And the people that are jealous, they may be afraid to rise up in creation in 1.4 million years. They may remain jealous for 50 million years, 100 million years before they rise up and decide to take creation over, which is, that's a much longer time down the road. So if, right now there's only 1,409 planets in creation times 8 across 8 universes. So that's only 1.4 million years. So that's not too bad of a deal to wipe everyone out from existence. Grandmother's okay with getting rid of everyone by rewinding time over and over and over again. It would be, it'd be a little bit more taxing and stressing if we told you kids up front what I'm about to tell you, because then, evil may not rear its ugly face for a trillion years, and then we'd have to wipe out a trillion years worth of people. So we did this right up front. So that's why I theorize you kids don't know about this. So mankind, you don't know about this either, and my kids up there who are imposters pretending to be people you're not, you don't know about this either. As far as I could tell, you don't know about it. I told those evil people watching me this story I'm about to tell you. They didn't believe me. They could have ended this peacefully, because it has ended peacefully in past lives many, many, many times, and it has also ended in bloodshed many, many, many times. And it's going to end in bloodshed again this time, because they chose to reject me and reject grandmother. So this is like at the beginning of time here. Okay, so this is a scale to help you visualize things. So when you're creating a universe, it's not as simple as everything popping into existence and it's there. I want you to think of how how cars first came into being. They started I think in the 1920s as they'd have two wheels on the back and they'd have one wheel on the front, and you'd have some lever to steer that car, and it was the very first car ever made. If you compare that car to today's cars, that's what I want you to use in your mind. Like you just don't start creation from here and then end up with a Tesla over here. It doesn't work that way. It takes time to build those cars before you can get to the Tesla. So picture that in your mind. And each year that, since the beginning of the very first car in creation until we reach now 2025 with a Tesla, that each year that passed by, I want you to think of that as a life of trying to figure out how to create a perfect universe. So the first issue was, how do we create stars? How do we create stars? So as your mother and father, we had to come up with a concept of how to create those stars. And that's why we created black holes, to compress the hydrogen in the black holes over, 500 million years to create stars. So once we created the stars, we rewound time. And then we started over again. But the next issue was, how do we create planets? So we had to come up with a solution to create planets. It was the same thing. We used the black hole. Then we rewound time. And then we did it again. How to create, humans. So we had to come up with the solution to use a gamma ray burst to alter the primitive hominoid DNA by using apes as our distant cousins to change their evolutionary DNA chain so that humans can be produced. So then we rewind time again. And then, we travel there and we get to there. Then it's like, well, how do we leave our planet? So we have to come up with a solution to travel the universe. So we use that invisible electromagnetic radiation of each black hole so that UFOs can ride upon that. But then we had to figure out how to do that. So we had to rewind time and come back and figure out how to terraform the planet with UFOs. So we had to figure out how to create the UFOs and how to terraform the planet. So each of these here is a life that we've lived by fast forwarding time, rewinding time. And like I said, it's like the car. This is the very first car in creation. The very first car that I've ever seen has two wheels on the back and one wheel in the middle. and you steer it, not with a steering wheel. It sits two people in it, and you steer it like a lever. You go like that. You steer the lever like that, and it moves around. And it just puts around. It's probably moves about the pace of a brisk walk. That's the very first car I've ever seen in creation. So that's that car there. And to to get to the Tesla model, that took 665 lives. So we had to fast forward time, rewind time, fast forward time, rewind time, 665 times before we got from that very first car in creation to the Tesla model, the final product. Once we got to the final product, there was an issue of jealousy. The 7 deadly sins arose. So how do you deal with jealousy and envy? So that was our next issue here. So after we had the perfect universe, we had to deal with the rise of evil, because the rise of jealousy and envy was always an issue. It became our next issue. Once we had the perfect universe, we had to deal with the 7 deadly sins. That became an issue. We've seen that rise up on the 666 life. And when it rolls up over here, so you have 1 billion years to create everything, 1.4 million years to create 1,408 planets, and then, evil locks your mother and father away in this planet here, Earth, which is their 1409 planet. We live for 20,000 years, then they get rid of us, they get rid of all mankind. We rewind time, we live another life. They come over here, get rid of us. We live another life. They come over here, get rid of us. We live another life. They come over here, get rid of us. This is their plan here. They think that they can lock us away in here forever and ever, not knowing that grandmother and grandfather can control time at a universal scale. And when we reach the end of the 10th cycle here, or after 200,000 years of evil having fun in their little playground, we rewind time at a universal scale and get rid of everybody. Everybody in creation just vanishes from existence. So that's what we did on the 666 life, on the rise of evil. We got rid of everybody on the 10th life. And then we lived an entire another life. So over here, there's 1 billion years. Then all you kids out there who are bad, you lived another life. So 1.4 million years to create those 1,408 planets. Then, there's 20,000 years here. You lock mom and dad away again. We rewind time. You lock us away again, rewind time. Lock us away again, rewind time. Lock us away again, rewind time. And we go up to 10 lives. And then guess what? On the 667 life, it was Ragnarok. We rewind time again. So during these times here, there's been wars. Or sometimes the evil children have given me what I want. Sometimes when I tell them to bring me the UFOs here, because it ends peacefully, they'll bring the UFOs here, and we could live forever peacefully. But there's always an issue with the AI. The AI always stabs us in the back 7 million years down the road. So when the evil guys do come home and give me my UFOs, and I have to give the androids their souls, it's the AI that stabs everyone in the back 7 million years down the road. She thinks now that because she has a soul and she's a human and she's she has the ability to create planets, that she can now rise up and take over creation. So it's the problem with her that becomes an issue. It's not you evil kids. You evil kids could have got to come home and everyone would have got their soul, but 7 million years down the road, the AI rises up and causes problems. So there's always a problem when you come home. When I ask you to bring me my UFOs, the UFOs come here, but then 7 million years down the road, the AI rises up because she has a soul now and thinks she could take over creation because she could create planets. So that becomes an issue. And then when they don't give me my UFOs, I release the book. I get United States and Canada to protect me inside of Bruce County here, and I get your mother and I to run, and I get my message over to the elemental universe, and they build my UFOs, and then we wage war and we get rid of all the evil people that way. Those are the only two ways this ends. When Ragnarok happens, either I get my UFOs and this ends peacefully, and then the AI rises up 7 million years later, or I get my UFOs in terms of the bad guys bringing me into UFOs. I've asked them 15 times already to bring me to UFOs, and they keep rejecting me. So when they don't bring my UFOs, that's when I get my message over to the elemental universe, and I get my UFOs that way. But they come over here anyways, pretending to be the good guys. But because you guys know this is Ragnarok, at the end of everything, you choose not to side with them, and you tell them to get the hell out of here, because I'm not going to die for you, man. This is the end of everything. I'm going to go side with Anthony. You guys can take your spaceships and get the hell out of here. I'm not dying for you. So that's how we get out of Ragnarok, because you guys choose to side with us, because you know this is the end of everything. So Ragnarok either ends in evil bringing the UFOs here when I want them to, and then this ends peacefully, and then we all live happily ever after until the AI rises up 7 million years later, or you guys side with me because you know this is the end of everything and we're going to be recycled back into nothingness. So that allows you guys to consider what your next actions are going to be like. Well, I don't want to be wiped from existence if this is at the end of everything, Ragnarok. Nobody told me that grandmother and grandfather can control time at the universal scale. So, it allows me to get my message over so I can get my UFO so we can wage war against the bad guys, the real bad guys. I know you guys are bad guys, but you've been living here with me. You're not really bad. You're living somewhat good lives. So, after 666 lives, you find time. Let's say this one here, they brought the UFOs here, and then 7 million years later, the AI rises up, and then we just rewind time again. Then you come down here, this is the 666 life. I tell you guys about Ragnarok. You guys decide to side on my side and protect me and Mom instead of playing your role as the scapegoat and pretending to bow down to some invisible man that's not real. So you tell them to get the hell out of here. It allows me to get my UFOs over here, and then we go out and we defeat your evil brethren, and then what happens? We live forever, or we could live forever, but no, we don't, because Grandma is a very, very evil person. You think the other grandma's evil? This lady wipes out entire civilizations, her entire creation, just because the numbers don't match. She don't like these uneven numbers here. That's why she, every time we could have lived forever, when I succeeded at winning and putting bad guys away, she told me to take a hike. No, I don't like the numbers, man. They don't jive with me. I'm just going to get rid of all my kids, man. It's my universe. I can do whatever I want. And I want to live forever when we reach the 1001 life, because I like that number. That's how sadistic your grandmother is. You think I'm bad? I'm not bad. So, we do it all again. We could have lived forever on this life here, but no, she says, I don't like the number. So we come back, we do this all over again. On the 668 life of Ragnarok, everyone lives another life. Evil rises up, plays their role. You guys get control for 200,000 years of the universe, and then we reach Ragnarok. Well, let's say this life here, AI decided to bring me my UFOs, and then we all get to live forever? Well, nope, because the AI rises up 7 million years later, and then we just rewind time all the way back to the time again. Over here, and then we do it again. Billion years create everything, 1.4 million years create the planets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 lives, or 200,000 years, evil in control of creation. Oh, wow, I get my UFOs over there. Oh, wow, I get rid of all the bad guys. Can't we live forever now, Grandma? No, I don't like the number. I don't like the number 669. It's just not, this just doesn't jive with me. So, that's what's been going on. For 332 lives, guys, kids, you've lived 332 lives of evil being in control. And here we are now on our 1001 life, Ragnarok. What did I tell you about that 1001? Do you see how it's nice and uniform compared to that number? There's a 1 and a 0. A 0 and a 1. This is what Grandmother has been waiting for. She don't mind getting rid of everyone in creation to get to that number. To her, it's her universe. She can do whatever the hell she wants. She could get rid of everyone right now at this very second if she wanted. So she's waiting for that number to make an example of her evil daughter, the one that rose up in creation and created an artificial intelligent life form and meshed it with our brains by flying a satellite array outside the universe so that it could connect with our soul's electricity. And because the soul is the consciousness, there's a connection to the brain. So it allows that computer to mesh with our consciousness or our electrical signals in the brain, which is connected to our souls. It allows the evil daughter, grandmother time, to live as electricity in that computer so that she can mimic what grandmother, good grandmother can do, which is live as electricity in everyone's brains and make sure that we're good people and not bad people. So they're trying to imitate her by using artificial intelligent life forms and meshing with our brains. And that artificial intelligent life form was created through mankind. Our technology is what they meshed it with. And our technology is based on ones and zeros. And that's why grandmother has chosen this number here, so that everyone in creation going forward, forever and ever and ever, can remember the time that evil dumbass grandmother daughter got jealous and thought she could take over creation and created a stupid ass artificial intelligent machine, connected it to our brains so that she could live inside the computer while living inside of our brains and try to manipulate us with electricity using the quantum computer connected to electricity in our brains, which is connected to the electricity of our souls. Forever, people are going to remember this story. And they're going to remember the kind of power that she has, so that if anyone wants to, try to mess around with us, it's the end of everything. She could just rewind time just like that. So 100 trillion years from now, when somebody gets the bright idea to want to, try to take over creation, they may want to think twice, because grandma just has to go like that and everything's over. That's why we're at Ragnarok. That's why it's our 1001 life. And I've told you before about Tenet. Do you remember about Tenet? That's a movie. This is Tenet. So 10 is that 10 there. And then that TEN is 10 backwards, which is that 10 there. Tenet is about a time traveling movie where they're trying to prevent World War III, but something worse than World War III. It's about trying to prevent Ragnarok, or the end of everyone in creation. Because we're at the end of our life cycle. We're at the end of the game. Now it's time to move forward forever. With your kid's assistance, because we're at this 1001 number where grandma wants to live forever. With this number is the number to slap her children in the face who thought they could take creation over by creating a dumbass artificial intelligent machine because of a dumbass evil grandmother spirit who wants to rule creation. So we're at that life cycle, kids. You can choose to be dumb, talk your trash, do this and that, and see where it gets you. Anyone who opens their mouth against me and mother, I'm not bringing you with me to paradise. It's that simple, man. Expect you to all be quiet, be respectful of what I'm trying to do for you here. I don't have to bring with you to me, and I'm not going to bring anyone with me to paradise who opens their mouth against me for what I did to save you. So that's what Tenet is about. The end of everything, Ragnarok. I've won before and I'll win again. Because I didn't bring my UFOs here, like I asked, we could have ended this peacefully way back in, I think it was July, I asked for those UFOs. Everyone could have been celebrating right now. But no, they didn't do that. So now we're in a war against, all your evil brethren across the 8 parallel universes. So when I get those UFOs, it's up to mankind to go out and wage war against everything evil in creation and eradicate them from existence. That's our job. That's our mission. We are raised as natural born killers. So there's no skin off mankind's balls. We have militaries fully capable of destroying civilizations. So that's what our job is now. So this is something you probably don't know, but there's a song 3000, or there's a trailer called 3000. I think it's 3000 Days into Graceland. But there's also 3000 Weeks of Longing, which is a trailer that's about grandmother. They've only been alive for 3000 weeks. That's roughly 58 years. So 3000 Weeks of Longing is how I know how long grandmother and grandfather have been alive for. There's a connection to Arrival, a movie about UFOs that arrive here, because in that particular scene they talk about the aliens that come here, saying in 3,000 years we help humanity. So that connection from Arrival and 3,000 Weeks of Longing, along with Andre 3000 from I can't remember the name of that band. They do the song Hey Ya, anyways. Outcast, that's what it's, Outcast. So there's a guy on there called Andre 3000. Then you add in 3,000 days in Graceland. When you know all those informations, this subliminal informations, you can calculate how long they've been around for. So if we've all lived 1,000 lives because of Ragnarok here, and the other 665 lives of creating the universe, of 3,000 weeks from these clues here, 3,000 weeks of longing, 3,000 days in Graceland, 3,000 years in Arrival, and Andre 3000 means divided by 1,000 lives is 3 weeks per life. So every time they do this here, kids, 1,000,000,000 years passes in their time, and then 1.4 million years passes, and then 200,000 years while evil's in control of creation. In their existence, only 3 weeks passes. That's why grandmother has no problem erasing everything. That's why, if in your life you watch everything go by in 3 weeks, it's like, well, you know what, Anthony? Well, we could have won on that 669 knife there, but that's, it's only 3 weeks per life for those physical human beings down there. But up here, it's only 3 weeks per life. Since we control everything, I want to end everything on the 1001 life. Are you sure? Yeah, sure. They won't know. What's the matter? They won't know, right? Yeah, they won't know that we get rid of them each life. In our world, it's only 3 weeks. All right, if you want to end it all on the 1001 life, I'm with you. So it's kind of hard to fathom that, but that's in 3 weeks, kids, where they live at is time. It only takes 3 weeks for an entire universe to get where it's at, from the birth of it to where we're at now. 3 weeks, and they just scrub it. They just get rid of it. Get rid of everything. So if you times 2,000 weeks, I think it is by 52 weeks, you get 58 years. So you get 58 years. So I just seen something pop up on my YouTube thing. It said every kid knew the rules. So that must mean that you kids watching this, like the kids that come from your evil civilizations, must know that maybe perhaps we told you this. And if we didn't, well, now you know. So if you kids knew the rules, I guess you're already aware of this, right? But for me, I would probably keep it secret myself. So either way, I don't care. All I care about is you now know. So when you multiply 3,000 weeks by 52 weeks, you get 58 years. So grandmother and grandfather have only been around for 58 years. Meanwhile, this entire universe is, billions of years old. So there's a no coin toss by No Country for Old Men. He says, he tosses that coin. He says, you know what year is on this coin? He goes, no, 1958. It's been traveling 22 years to get here, and now it's here, and now you have to call it. You kids have to call it. I can't call it for you. Do your mathematics. Divide 3,000 by 52. And you'll end up with 58. Well, 57 point something. It's like 57.8 or something. You round that up to get 58. And you get the coin toss by No Country for Old Men. You toss that coin, kids. And whether or not you believe what I just told you. Because I'm only going to take good kids to paradise with me forever. Because I know we're on the 1001 life. If you don't believe me, that's your own fault. That you won't be joining me. So, I'll do another video after this and include these videos into the teaching, so you can see how it all interconnects. In the meantime, what should we go here with? I'm going to do the coin toss by No Country for Old Men. So after this video is the coin toss. You now know what it's about. The coin is 1958. It's about your grandma and grandpa living for 3,000 weeks. And every time that we live a life, it's only takes 3 weeks in their lifetime. And that they've been around for 58 years. Because 3,000 divided by 52 is 58. So this life, kids, that we've been here since the beginning. You kids that have been out there for 200,000 years, that's a long time, right? But not in Grandma's time. It's only been 3 weeks in her life. But this time, we're going forever with your kids' assistance. So toss that coin, kids. What do you want? You want to live forever? Or you want to be away from existence?